Remember in orthographic projection when we created the three different views of an object, front, side, and top? Today we're going to talk about a different type of drawing called isometric drawing. As you can see here, the graph paper is different. Orthographic projection is made up of squares. However, isometric projection or isometric drawing is made up of cubes. And these cubes are placed at angles of 30 degrees on each side. So how do I go about creating an isometric drawing of an object? Let's take this shape here as an example, and these two views, front view, which is right here, and the top view, which is if I'm looking at my object from the top, this is what I would see. Now to draw it, I need to look at this grid paper and know what the dimensions are. So this line right here, any vertical line in a box is worth 10, and any 30-degree line is worth also 10, and any vertical line is also worth 10 points. So I've got all of the dimensions are made up of 10. Now if I want to draw, I'm always going to start with the front view. So if I look at this shape right here, this is my front view. Let's say, for example, I will start with this angle right here, which is 30, and the rule says any vertical line stays vertical. So if I have 30 and I know that every box is made up of 10, then it would be 3 boxes. 1, 2, and 3. Making sure that the vertical line stays vertical. So I do not change anything about the vertical lines. What about horizontal lines? What about these lines right here or here? These are not vertical. What happens to them? The rule says that horizontal lines are drawn at 30-degree angles. So I cannot go and draw this line right here in this direction. That is wrong. I have to follow the 30-degree lines. And because I have the value of 15, so 10 and then 5, that would give me this line right here, because every box is 10. If I take half of that 10, it would be 5, which gives me a total of 15. And then I go about and draw the rest of the dimensions in the same way until eventually I finish the front view. Notice that we have followed the rules. I started with the front view as the rule says. So this is the front view, and I've created the front view as well. I've made sure that all the vertical lines stayed vertical. So the vertical line is still vertical, vertical, and vertical. However, all of the horizontal lines are at angle of 30 degrees. So 30, 30 degrees, and also at the bottom here, 30 degrees. Of course, if I'm using the isometric drawing grid paper, I do not have to measure the angle 30 because they would be readily available. Now, what do I do next after finishing the front view? After the front view, I go and draw the depth, meaning these lines right here. Now to draw the depth, I go over and look at the top view of my object, which is this, and it's telling me that the angle or the dimension is 20. Now to draw 20, I would use 2 boxes because every line is actually 10. So I would go 1, 2, and then from here 1, 2, and to finish all of the edges with 2 boxes as the dimension says. What is left to do here is just close up the shape, and you would notice at this point that the isometric drawing that I've created is exactly the same as the 3D object that I started with from the beginning. Remember, orthographic projection's graph paper is squares of 90 degrees. However, isometric drawing graph paper is made up of cubes with their side bent at 30-degree angles. The drawing in orthographic projection is 2D, meaning it is flat. However, isometric drawings are 3D and they're drawn at 30-degree angle. If I look at an orthographic projection, I need all 3 views or a minimum of 2 views to see all of the details on the picture or of the object. If I have any view missing, it means some important details are missing as well. However, in isometric drawing, having one single 3D view is enough to show all of the details of an object. Try out this shape right here, try to create an isometric drawing of it and see if you understand all of the rules.